Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me here today on this video. My name is Angela and thank you for coming and spending a little time out with me today. So guys, in this video I want to talk about cravings and how to manage cravings, and I would love to know what you do, what type of cravings you get and how you manage them. So for many years I used to struggle, and I mean struggle, with cravings. And I used to crave things like chocolates and sweet things, sometimes salty things, and that really contributed to weight gain and difficulty losing weight. And I could never understand why I was craving particularly chocolate and sweet things. And I just thought it's normal, everybody does, you know, and everybody talks about especially women talk about craving chocolate throughout the month. And I started, being the Sherlock Holmes that I am, I started to dig and do a little bit of investigation and started to recognise my patterns and recognise that my patterns were always around the time of the month. I'm now postmenopausal, but up until then, I was always craving chocolate around that time of the month. And the cravings were so strong, I remember even like getting up out of my bed or going out in the car in my pyjamas with my coat thrown over me and going down to the local supermarket and buying chocolate and chocolate biscuits and sweets and things and getting home and just devouring them. And I started to explore why this was and realised that it was always around the time of the month, always like the week before, the week and the week after. So for 3 weeks in the month I was my own worst enemy, and there was only probably 1 week where I wasn't craving chocolate, but it had now become such a habit I would have it anyway. I'm now at the stage where chocolate virtually repulses me. I can eat it, but I just don't fancy it. So what has helped me go from craving it to now finding it almost a repulsion? Well, I realised that after having done some research that it could be a deficiency. Now, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a dietitian. So, you know, please do your own research. But I realised that after having done research that it could be a magnesium deficiency. And I will just say, I'm very interested in nutrition. But at this time, I thought, you know, from my research was telling me it could be I was magnesium deficient. So I started then thinking, well, at that time there was no way for me to know that for sure. So started thinking about ways that I can incorporate magnesium into my meals. But as I'm under the hospital and my doctors because of my health, and I have lots and lots of blood tests every year, I thought I would ask my consultant if they could check my magnesium. And I explained that I was craving certain foods and wondered if it was a magnesium deficiency. And so they did. As part of all my checks, I have so many blood checks for everything, absolutely everything, even things that I didn't even know existed. And my results came back that I was indeed deficient. In fact, I was deficient in vitamin B and B12, deficient in magnesium. I'm always borderline, if not deficient, in iron, and vitamin D. Vitamin D is my biggest one. Again, because of my health condition, I suffer with lupus, and I do have to stay out of the sun. So that contributes to being deficient because I'm not getting that sunshine. So there was a lot going on with me, and you know, guys, I'm just telling you this for information. This is not any type of advice or recommendation whatsoever. So I've realised I was deficient in those 4 things. So they put me on medication, on tablets for those, but I didn't want to be long term on them, so decided to start researching what foods I could use and eat to help me with that deficiency. So started to eat lots of green leafy veggies, and if you've heard me on any of my videos, you'll know that I juice a lot. And that's a brilliant way of getting in all of those minerals and nutrients and vitamins by juicing. You know, I'd have to eat a lot of green leafy veg to get the quantities that I need, but juicing and making green juices, brilliant, straight down the hatch, getting all of that goodness straight into my body. So lots of spinach, lots of kale, started having lots of nuts. I have nuts in my overnight oats that I've got here, lots of nuts, lots of almonds and cashews, pecans, Brazil nuts, all of those raw nuts, absolutely fantastic. Eating lots of avocado as well. I tend to eat, I aim to eat at least 3 to 4 avocados a week. I either have them on like Vita, or I put them in smoothies as well. Really good for the body. So it would start to have all of these good nutritious things, and what I started to realize over time was that those cravings just started to disappear. Didn't have them as much. And now that I'm postmenopausal, and I'm not talking weeks or even months, I'm talking over the years, you know, it's now just like, if I see chocolate, it just does not have my name on it. It just doesn't call me. Now, that's not to say I don't enjoy a piece, because I think there's a big difference between having it and craving it. There is a big difference. I can have a piece, but I'm definitely not craving it. When I was craving it, I would, you know, I'd literally kill to get it. You know, not literally, but you know what I mean. But now I don't, you know, I can take it or leave it. And I think that is also about, you know, where I'm at now. I recently had a blood test, and everything is absolutely where it should be. Yeah, one little marker was down, but generally everything is where it should be. So I'm no longer craving those foods, and part of that is because I believe I'm now including foods in my meals that is nutrient dense, that is reducing the cravings, fortifying, nourishing my body, but also helping me with weight loss. And to date I've lost 107 pounds, and I believe that nourishing my body has really supported that. But cravings at WW, a couple of weeks ago, there was a topic about managing cravings, and I just want to share with you the 3 fast facts, because I think the 3 fast facts from WW is very interesting. They tell us that cravings are usually brief, they're relatively predictable, and most importantly, they are defeatable, and I totally agree with that. We know that they're brief, they can come and go, last a few minutes, maybe even half an hour or so, and then they can go. And they're predictable. If you notice a trend, you know, I noticed my patterns, and my patterns was around the time of the month. The other pattern was usually when I was tired. When I was tired, I would crave those sweet things and that chocolate. And the third point in this is it's defeatable, and I 100% agree with that, because I'm at a stage now where I feel I have defeated not all, but most of those cravings, and certainly the chocolate craving. I do still crave salty things, but again, it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, but every now and again I still do crave that. The second fast fact tells us that stepping back to observe a craving allows us to recognize that it is a moment in time that will pass. And I do totally agree with that. It will pass. It's just what we do in the meantime to allow that craving to pass. But I thought that this third fact was really important. It says that each time we don't eat in response to a craving, future urges tend to be less intense and subside more easily. So every time we get that craving and we choose not to eat, then we master it. We take control of that craving. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And it's a work in progress. We're a work in progress. I also have to say that on my journey, I've had to really think about, is it a craving or is it a habit? Am I craving a bag of crisps for that salty flavour? Or is it just a habit? And I have to, in order to help me to identify the answer to that, I have to think and reflect on when I go for that snack, that salty thing that I think I'm craving. Or is it just a habit that I have it in the evenings when I'm sitting down watching TV? So there's a big difference there. But Weight Watchers gave us a really, really good technique to help us to overcome the craving, and it's called Surf the Urge. Now, this technique, I will say, is not specific to Weight Watchers. It is used in so many different areas of binge eating, of addiction, of giving up smoking, of anxiety. And I learnt this technique years ago when I was getting support for pain management. But the technique is so helpful. It really is. So the technique that WW is shared with us is to imagine a sea. Imagine that you're at a beach. You feel the sun on your face and the warm sand in between your toes, and you're looking straight ahead and you see the rolling waves. And the waves gradually build until they come and they crash and wash over us. So that is what WW was teaching us. But I've used this technique with so many different things, imagining that I'm flying, you know, towards the sun. For pain management, I've imagined that there's a ball in my body and I'm rolling the ball to where my pain is, and I'm breathing and then moving it across, and then until it goes down through my hips, through my legs, through my toes, and out through my body. So many different ways that you could do the visualization part of this. But the key, and as from someone who practices and has taught meditation and breathing, breath work, the key is the breathing. And the key is about taking a deep breath in through your nose, holding it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then blowing gently out through your mouth. That's the key. Because when you focus on the breath work, what happens is, and if you're doing it correctly, you will, wherever you are, whether you're sat in a chair, whether you're lying in bed, whether you're in the car, whether you're not driving there, but in the car, or whether you're like me stood in the kitchen, what should happen if you're doing it correctly is you should feel your shoulders relax, and then your body relax, your arms relax, and your legs relax, your neck and your head relax. And you should feel calm and gentle. If you're doing it right, you should feel like that. And the point of this is, when you're in that state, you're getting oxygen into your body, and you can now start to think a little bit more clearly. And you can make a conscious decision, rather than being in that moment, feeling really overwhelmed by feelings and emotions, and you just want to grab that snack, whatever it is you're craving, instead of being in that overwhelmed state, you're now really relaxed, and you can now make a conscious decision as to, you know, are you going to go in and give in and have that snack, or are you going to go do something else? So I just want to share with you the technique that I practice, but also the technique that I've taught many people over the years, from private clients right through to working with corporates. This is the technique that I share with them. And I'm going to teach you this, and you can then practice it as and when you want, whenever you need it, for whatever situation you need it. So wherever you are, just be still for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose, always through your nose. Fill your lungs and your body fill with air, and hold it for a second, and then blow out gently through your mouth. And again. And each time you do that, feel your body relax. You might even want to close your eyes, but feel your shoulders and your arms relax, and keep doing that. Breathing in through your nose, hold, and breathe gently through your mouth. And again, breathe in deeply through your nose, hold, and release through your mouth. And again, take another deep breath in through your nose, hold, and blow out gently through your mouth. And keep doing this as often as you need. And hopefully you should start to feel really relaxed now. You may even have your eyes closed. Feel your face and your jaw relax. Feel the tension ease out of your neck. Feel your shoulders drop, your arms relax, and your whole body feeling calm. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. And when you're ready, come back to me. So guys, I hope you found that useful. Drop in the comment box below. How are you feeling? How are you feeling after doing that? So you can use this technique for so many things. I use it all the time. You know, I live with pain every single day, and I usually, in fact, I'm at the stage now, I just do it automatically. I don't even think. You know, the other day I knocked my elbow and the pain was just horrific, and I just automatically went into that deep breath, and as soon as I breathed out, and that, I just felt that pain just subside. Didn't go, but it was subsiding. I teach it to my children, to my son. He practices this now because I've taught it him from when he was little, and I teach my grandchildren the same. You know, children are falling over, bumping themselves. Just teach them to breathe, to breathe, to breathe. Because when we don't get the oxygen in, that's when we get all tense, we get all tight and everything. All sorts of things are happening chemically in our brain. But the minute we just get that oxygen in, we start to relax. This is a brilliant technique if you find it hard to sleep as well. And I use it automatically when I get into bed and I'm ready to sleep. Just take a few deep breaths, and before I know it, I'm out like a light. If I'm stuck in traffic and I'm getting really anxious, I just start doing some deep breathing. And it doesn't make the traffic go any faster, not at all. But it just calms me, it just relaxes me. Just so many areas in my life I use it. And also it's really helpful when those cravings come. When those cravings come, or you want to snack and you just feel a little bit out of control on your journey, just stop for a moment and just breathe. Just breathe. Get that air in your lungs. Hold and release. Just breathe. And just keep practicing it, guys. The more you practice, the more automatic it will become for you, and it'll just happen. Whenever your body feels tense, you can just go straight into that deep breathing. So guys, that is the technique. It's a deep breathing technique based on breath work, and you could use any visualizations that you want. You could think about the surf, the sea. You could think about just flying or floating. You could think about balls, or you know, anything that you want to. Yeah, sometimes I would just in my mind just fly away and sit in the sun and feel my body sinking into that sand with the heat of the sun bathing my body. And that's such a lovely thing to do. So I use it a lot because of pain management. So yeah, you know, whatever works for you, do give that a try. But guys, do know that, you know, when you are now in that relaxed state, you can make a conscious decision about whether you are going to give in to that craving. You can make a conscious decision as whether it is a craving or whether it is a habit. And then you're in a great position then to make a conscious choice. Are you going to have that? Or are you going to wait 10 minutes? Are you going to do something else in that time? And then decide. It just puts that pause in. It gives you that breathing space. I've been hearing people saying that they do the apple test and thinking, am I hungry enough to have an apple? And I always think that's a really interesting one, because I think if I'm not hungry enough to have an apple, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. But sometimes we just like to treat ourselves to something, and that's absolutely fine. It's part of the journey. But yeah, just putting that breathing in can really help in so many different ways in our lives. So guys, I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found that useful. And do let me know if you did. Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, and also drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought. Guys, if you've found me today, then it is great to have you here. If you're not subscribed, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. And yeah, and that way you will be notified as and when I upload more videos. Guys, thank you so much for being with me today. If you've made it to this point of the video, then thank you. I really do appreciate you. Guys, stay tuned for more videos coming out from me. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care now. Bye.